This is Oasis, a standard poodle that needs a grooming desperately. Look at your face, it's so fluffy, almost look like a doodle. But he hasn't been brushed or bathed for a while, and it's been snowing. He's been out in the snow, and he wore boots, so his legs may even be a little bit matted. Yeah, maybe they're... So today I wanted to show you how to brush a poodle, basically how to brush and comb them. And there are so many choices of brushes and combs. So you might need a few brushes to get, through your poodle's coat. These ones over here, there are different kinds of brushes. These ones are called hard slickers. They're usually curved. These ones are more to get the knots out, or they're more stiffer and they go through the hair a little bit better. These ones are soft slickers for everyday use, but sometimes they might go through the hair if it's not too bad. But there's some that are curved. There's some that have a straight, straight back. This one's straight. This one's, some of them are more cushioned. This is nice and cushioned. This is nice and cushioned if you push it down. These ones are just more flat, but they're softer. If you touch them, they're softer. These ones have more harder pins. And this one is the best brush for poodles. This is a Christensen brush, and look how long the pins are. This gets through that long, thick hair, and this gets out mats and knots really well. I love this brush. You can see the difference. Look how short the pins are on this one compared to the one I just showed you. Look at that. And there's also dematting brushes. This is a dematting brush. Got two sides. If you're just brushing along, it gets full of dead hair, you just flip it around, use the other side, and then clean it out. And then there is a brush like this. This is more if you're showing your poodle, if you are brushing your dog every day, it's got no knots, and it just doesn't take out, much hair. If you're showing your dog, usually they use this kind of brush. This is called a pin brush. It doesn't really go through knots very well. It's more or less a maintenance brush for everyday use, similar to the soft slickers. And there are many combs that you can use. These are just a few that I have. And this one actually is called Poodle comb. I don't even think they make them anymore. But look how long the pins are. Yeah, that's not going to go through right now. This one also is a Poodle comb. Has the wider teeth and then the shorter teeth on one end. Or they're closer together, sorry, wider and then closer together. And then we have all these other ones. This is my everyday use comb, or this one, sorry, this one is. And they're all different. And when you're looking for a comb, they all have different metals. Some are stronger than others. Some are very delicate. Some are just for finishing, like this one. This one's for finishing, and I would never use this on a coat that has knots because you can actually bend the tines here. This is for when you're at the end and the dog's all combed out and you want to do a nice thorough comb. And this is an extra special comb, very expensive as well, over $100. And I love this comb for the final, when you're scissoring and you comb them. It looks very nice. And there's, everyday combs like these ones. This one just has the same length teeth all the way through, but they're kind of close together. So I like to use when they're further apart. And what I do is I don't use the comb at first. I use the brush first. So I'm going to show you how, here's a brush over here, how I brush and comb my poodles. Hi, Oasis. Are you ready? All right, so now I'm ready to brush. And I'm going to start with this brush. Now, just remember, it's best to have different brushes because sometimes this brush might not do the job that I want it to do. And I switched to another one. This is a hard slicker. It's a curved slicker. And I have my other brushes ready to go. Kind of my favorites that will work in my comb. And so what I do is I start at the bottom. I start at the feet, usually the back leg. And I work my way up the legs. I'll do the leg first, this leg. Then I usually do this leg. And then I'll do the body, the tail, then I will start at the head, the ears, and then usually the neck. Or it could be the neck and the head. But the head's always the last area. And what you want to do is called line brushing. This is called line brushing, where you brush your dog. Because you don't want to just grab the brush and just do this. All right, unless your dog's hair is really short. It's really short and it doesn't need to be, that looks nice, right? Look at how nice this looks. But it's not, sorry, I'm wearing a new chest mount for my camera. It's not, see how it's not going through so well. So what you're doing when you do this is you're just brushing the surface. You have to brush, you know, from the root out to the tip of the hair. Like I said, if this is really short, like, you know, a short shave and the hair is just growing out, it might be okay to do this. Or if you do it over and over and over, it just depends. Like poodle, every poodle has different coats. Some are finer than others, some are curlier, some are more coarse. Like him, he's kind of easy to groom for me because he's got more of a sparse coat. He is an older boy. He's almost 14, but he's always been like this. His hair has been always easy for me to get through and comb. But my other standard poodle that I have now, Benny, he's got like a lot of hair, like really, really thick. He's got like show quality hair, and it's totally different from his hair. So not all poodles are the same. And like I was saying, some are more curly, some are straight, some are wavy. Well, not really straight, but you know, straight and wavy. But anyways, they're all different. So you have to pick the right tools according to the dog's fur. So what I'm going to do is start at the foot here. Hopefully the camera will stay good. I'm trying to do a hands-free camera. So you're going to pick up the foot. Oh, now you're going to pick it up way over here. All right. Okay. So what you want to do for line brushing is you want to hold, you know, with your opposite hand that you're not brushing with, if you're right-handed or left-handed, whichever hand you choose. Come on. Wait, so stop. And you train them as well. So good boy. All right. So he's very fussy with his feet because he's ticklish. But this is just to show you if I can get it in. So what I'm doing is I'm lifting up the hair. This is called line brushing. You're just going to brush, sections of the dog's coat. And by, wait, stop. By line brushing, you want to create a line because you want to brush to the skin. He's got very sparse hair anyways right here, so it's going to be pretty easy for the foot. And he's got a lot of hair. I'm going to have to be trimming that and make another video, so stay tuned. So I'm just, as I go up the leg, my hand is holding the hair up. Here, I'll put it down more comfortable. And this is just to show you, got to do the back as well. So, hang on a second. Oh, sorry, this camera is really bad. All right, so as I'm doing this, you know, I brush and my hand goes up and up and up, but I'm holding up the hair. So I'm brushing little sections, and getting to the skin. And sometimes it feels really good. It feels like, yeah, I did a great job. But you won't know that until you use a comb. So you're always going to brush the hair first, then you're checking it with your comb. You want a combination comb with wider teeth on one side and then thinner on the other side. You don't want them too thin because it'll be ripping the hair out. But, you know, you want to see a difference, right? So you want to start with the wide tooth. And see when you comb, look at this. See, he doesn't have knots here. The comb should be able to go through it like butter, like Oasis's hair right here. And then you check it with the other side. And if it goes through here, you see how it's getting stuck? Because I didn't do the back yet. So if it gets stuck, you use your brush to loosen it up. Because look, I didn't brush the back, and watch what happens. You see? Look. It's not going anywhere. That's why you always do the brush, because all these pins on the brush is breaking up the hair that's either knotted or just really stuck together. So let's give it another try. I'm using this end now. Look at this, see? It goes right through. So let's work our way up. This looks a little bit more tangled right here. So use your other hand, hold the hair up. You want to see the skin? See the skin? Okay, you're working your way up. No. Yeah, and dogs, they do move. Some of them don't like it. Some of them, you know, like it, but they move a lot. And you can train them on the table. He's already trained, but he's just an old boy. And he just, you know, he's ticklish. But they got to be brushed. They got to be brushed and groomed all their lives. a little bit tighter up here. And I can see the curls. And then I'm trying to lift up, but he's like leaning. He's leaning in toward me. Are you ticklish here, buddy? So then again, I'm just going to go over it like this. Yeah, I'm breaking my own rule, but I'm just, sometimes when you go over it, that's fine at first. You can go over it once to loosen up the top coat, but you always have to lift it up. Because what I was doing is loosening up the top of the coat just to get through it a little bit easier. So now I'm lifting a little bit of section by section, and he's twisting this way. So he's not making it easy for me. Just try a comb. So with the wider angle, you see how it's stuck? Because I just went over it. So I got to lift. And you're just, when you're brushing them, don't be like scraping the skin and hitting the skin. It might look like I'm doing that. I'm a professional groomer and I work pretty fast and I know my pressure. So you got to know your pressure. So you're not slapping the skin. You're actually just going right to the root. And in slow motion, see how it's curved? So you're basically curving it like that. So, and they're just quick little brushes. This is where it's tight. I can see the knot and I can hear it. You can hear when it's tight. Listen. So when you hear the crunching stopping, then you know that it's probably brushed out. But the only way to know is, again, take your comb. See, now it's going through a little bit better. Now he is dirty. So sometimes what I do actually is I would bathe him first. Then, use the high velocity dryer. Blow him out, because the velocity dryer can help get out any knots that are close to the skin. Now, if your poodle hasn't been groomed in a really long time and it's all matted, you're probably going to need to have the coat shaved down. Because, if it's really matted and you can't brush it out, it's very painful and they're mats like all over the body. It's not fair to the dog, and you can sit there and brush all day and nothing will happen. The mats are too tight to the skin, so it needs to be shaved right off and then start all over. So basically a poodle, if you want a nice clip on your poodle and you want it to look good all the time, depending on the length of hair, looks like it's looking better. I recommend every 4 to 8 weeks at the most. For even 2 weeks. I got dogs that come every 2 weeks, but it's just a bath and then they get a haircut next time. And that's his groin, so I got to be careful. If you want a nice longer, like fluffy style, every 4 weeks would be ideal. He's got knots there. Can you see that? And if you keep him really short, like a clip really short, you can possibly go 8 weeks. It does depend on your dog, on the coat. Even when you're keeping your dog short, if you got a poodle with a very thick coat, or like a soft coat that mats, then you might have to go in every 6 weeks. And brushing at home is ideal between the groomings. And if your dog, it depends on your dog's lifestyle as well. If you've got a cottage and he's swimming, he's going to the lake, or you go hiking, or he's always outdoors, short is best. Always short is best. And they'll last longer too. They'll last longer. So he does have knots on his belly here. I can see them. What is coming out? Let me get my other brush. This is the Poodle brush. One with the long pins. Chris Christensen's, very nice. It's an expensive brush, but it's worth it. This one I like to go a little bit slower because of the long pins. It's a little bit, feels different when you're using it. But this, once you know how to use it, the knots are easy to come out. See all the knots he has there? You can probably see them, right? Hopefully. So these are brushing. They're coming out. And I know my pressure, and you can hold the skin. I'm holding the skin so it doesn't, pull on the skin, obviously. for more comfort for the dog. What do you got here? A little cyst? Yeah, he's got a little cyst here. Better not be a tick. Oh no, that's a cyst. Oh, these are these ones that come out. Have you ever seen this before? It's like a little horn. It looks like a nail. Anyway, these just pull right off. There we go. See? It's gone. Looks like an extra nail. Now where did it go? Now I'm sure if I squeezed at that, you don't want to mess around with it if you don't know, what you're doing. But I've seen so many of these all my life. Now I can't find it. But anyway, it's out. It just comes out. All right, so let's get back to these knots. So again, I'm holding the skin, like just above the knot, just so I don't yank, because if I didn't hold it, it'd be going like this, So, oh yeah, they're coming out, Baba. This was from all the snow running on your belly. That's how deep it was. It was so deep. We had a lot of snow. And the backyard is like full of snow. They're having fun. You can see them on my other videos. All right, I'm going to get that afterwards, but just to give you an idea that this brush does work. And I'll do them a little bit at a time. Short little pulls. And if I see a massive mat on him that's so big, I'm going to cut it out. Good boy. There. See? And right above his, where his pee-pee is, I feel a lot of knots here. And since it's underneath where his pee-pee is, I'm just going to clip that like up to, probably up to here, underneath. Nobody sees that. I can clip all along the belly. Nobody will ever know. And it's my dog, so I don't care. Anyway, see all the knots here? Yeah, I could do this, but I'm going to clip it. Anyway, so there's his back leg. And I'm not finished the belly. But the front leg is the same. Come, buddy. Let's see if he pulls for this one. So just one more time, I'll show you. Come here and look at those nails. We have to trim them as well. See, he's got sparse hair. You can actually see his skin, but he is an old boy. So I'm trying not to scrape the skin. Stay, buddy. Stay, buddy. Stay, buddy. And here's a little knot right here. That actually looks like food. Puppy food. So as my arm is going up, as my hand is going up, I'm releasing more hair to be brushed. Let me see. Sorry, this camera is slipping. Stay. Come here. There, I'm going over the top of the coat just to loosen it up. And I know I have to do the line brushing again. Even I can even feel the knots with my hand right now. See, it looks nice. So as a groomer, people brought in their dogs and they're like, I'm like, oh, he brushed your dog, it looks great. They're so proud of themselves. And then I can't even get a comb through it or the clippers. And it's all matted, like tight, at the roots. So you really have to be careful about that. And don't get mad at your groomer if they say it's matted and you think you brushed it. So it looks good on the surface, but underneath it's got tight mats to the skin. And it's best just to clip it short. Right, hang on, buddy. So I'm using my brush that takes out mats. And since this one has long pins, you can actually just kind of do this, like I said not to do earlier, but since the pins are really long, sometimes I find with the long pins, because it's getting in there, but if the dog's coat is longer than the pins, then it might not work. But you can just give it a try. Yeah, and he's sensitive. You're sensitive right now. You gotta be careful, right, buddy? Good boy. He's a good boy. Let's test it with the comb. Yep, the other side. Sometimes the comb will get stuck, and sometimes it's just a little tiny little knot or just like tight hair, and you can actually get it out with the comb. If you ever get knots between the toes, that's a very sensitive area, and if they're really matted between the toes, just cut that out. Like if you're not doing a shaved foot and you're doing a round foot like I'm going to be doing on Oasis, you can cut out the knots between the toes. See, there's a little bit of tightness back here. See the hair? This is just dead coat. And poodles do shed like very minimal, what's that word? Minimal. So they're not totally, hyperallergenic. They're much better than other breeds, but they do shed. I do find hair here and there, but not a lot, obviously. But when you're combing and brushing, let me see. Look at this. See all that hair? This is dead coat. That's what happens. Like, because they're not really a shedding dog, that the hair stays in the dog's coat when it's dead or matted. So that's why they need grooming. You need to go brush it out. They're not like a husky where the hair just sheds out and falls out. So, but they do shed a little tiny bit. In my car, when they're in my car, if I look on the roof of my car, on the inside, there's tiny hairs there on my poodles. That shed it out. But again, it could be just dead hair. So I'm using the black brush again, and it's going through nicely. Good boy. There we go, buddy. All right, so what I'll do is go through the body, through the tail. So I'll be doing, the whole thing on the body, brushing all of that, doing it the same way. And when I get to the tail, you can hold the tail out. Always find where the tip of the tail is. It's a very sensitive spot. And also where the gland is, there is a gland in the tail right about here. If you scrape it, sometimes it will cause a problem. Sometimes dogs have gland problems there, and it's like thin and sometimes infected or full of like blackheads. So just be careful if you have anything like that. His tail seems okay. Look at how long it is. Let's get the comb. Yep. Yeah, your tail's okay, bud. I think. A little bit thick. When I wash you, it'll be better. So there you go. Hope you got some tips. Just going to brush his head. And what I do is just brush it away from his eyes, and then I'll do the line brushing again. And his ears. His ears are really thin. Some dogs are really thick, like my other dog Benny. He's got like 20 times as much hair. But he's got very thin hair. He doesn't really get knots on his ears. But when you're doing the ear, just make sure you're always holding the flap. And you can turn the ear like this. And you want to flip the ear around so you can brush it from underneath. so you can flip the ear around. Oh, he does have a knot right here. Where'd you get that knot? Oh my goodness. Come here. You're going too high up now. I don't think you're in the camera. Just going to break that up a bit. You want to hold the ends so it doesn't pull. There we go. I think I got it out. Yeah, so brush like the top part, and then you can flip it over this way as well. I'm going to brush both sides, because sometimes, especially if they're thick, if you just brush it like this, you're missing a lot of the hair that's underneath, especially if they're thick. Whee! Look at that, buddy. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I will be posting other videos of grooming, the bathing, the feet, the face, and it's everything grooming with poodles. So subscribe in case you want to learn and you don't miss anything. And check out my links down below. I'll put all the grooming equipment that's great for your poodle. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye. I gotta shave your face. Look at you.